Hey everybody, it's Moritz Ostwald again, founder of Alpha Coaching and Solutions. I have two questions for you. How would you like it if every single of your speeches is or are considered to be great speeches? And how would you feel if you deliver those speeches in a very calm and also highly confident way all the time? Well, think about it. Well, first of all, let me define what I think is a great speech. And obviously, yes, there are so many different definitions what makes a great speech and so many elements. But today, I would like to reduce that to two main elements. And the first one is, maybe you agree, what do we want to achieve with giving a speech? We would like to inspire our audience to change any kind of behavior, right? And secondly, how would it be if we don't need that much time to prepare it and rather have some fun and, if let's say, a few hours to prepare a really great speech that makes an impact? Now, I got good news for you, because in the next few minutes, I will show you exactly how you can structure your next speech project so that it will make the difference for your audience. And stick with me, because in the end, I will reveal a secret. The secret a Buddhist monk showed me 2 years ago. Okay? So let's get started. Now, when we start a speech project, we should have a great structure. And the formula which works best for me is very simple. It's the IBC formula. The IBC. What does it stand for? It stands for having an intro, obviously having a body, what to tell, and the conclusion in the end. So far, so simple. And my idea is to give you 3 quick tips and tricks from my last 10 years of experience for all of these 3 different areas. All right? So first of all, within the intro, very important, you need to grab your audience attention. You need to grab your audience attention in the beginning so they know why actually they should listen to you, right? And the second is, always start with the why. Tell them why they should listen to you, why they should spend some time and listen to you right now. And then just followed by, what are you going to tell them? Yeah? Tell them exactly what it is. A great formula you will probably never forget is very simple, and it belongs also to the intro, body, conclusion, IBC. You tell them what you're going to tell them. You tell them, and you tell them what you told them, right? So that's the what they will learn from you. And thirdly, you should figure out what they really need and what they want on that specific occasion. And then you address their needs and you give them what they want. And they will follow you through the whole speech. Now let's move to the body. What's most important, from my perspective, for the body of any speech? Let's see. That you actually have maximum of 3 points, 3 major points for every of your speech projects or every seminar or every presentation. Because why? You don't want to bore your audience. You don't want to go into too many details. That's why you have 1 to 3 major points. And then, because of that is so crucial not to bore your audience, hey, you can use one of the many techniques. And what works best, of my experience, is to tell them a story. Because people love to listen to stories. We are hardwired actually to follow stories. It's like centuries ago. That was how people have communicated. And that's a great thing how you can also capture the interest of your audience. I will get to that point in a minute. Now, the last point here is that you can prepare a great speech. You can have everything that in your mind. But on the day of delivery, you should really take care of how your audience is reacting. What are they thinking? They give you verbal feedback in terms of comments or questions, or non-verbally. And if they sit there like here, yeah, they eventually get bored. So you should listen to their feedback and adapt what you're saying and how you're saying it. Now, do you wonder why I have these dollar signs here in the conclusion? Well, that's where the money is. That's where the meat is. That's where the fun is. Because in the conclusion, this is most important of all these 3 different areas of every speech. What's my first tip for you? Of course, you recap what you just told them. Yeah? You give them 2, maximum 3 takeaways, which hopefully they will never forget. Number 2 is never forget that the last sentences are the most important sentences of any speech, together with the very first sentences you utter. So grab your audience attention and then recap it, because this is what sticks with people's memory. And drum roll, what's the most important tip actually I will give you tonight? It is that you never, ever, ever, never, 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 ever, ever leave your audience without telling them what you want them to do. You have a clear and precise call for action. So what is it what they should take away? What is it what they should think? Or what is it that they should change in their behavior? That's the call for action. All right? Then let me get back to my promise from the beginning. I promise you to tell you a story. And that story is, quite interesting. I will tell you how it happened. It was 2 years ago. And I attended a silent retreat from the Buddhist community here in Frankfurt. And they've invited a Buddhist monk, the Zen master Ajahn Brahm. And he came from Australia to Frankfurt for 10 days. And out of these 10 days, I've been 4 days with him in the Odenwald. It's about 70 kilometers from here. It's a nice forest. It was in the springtime. It's really, really nice and cozy. And Ajahn Brahm was talking to us during these 4 days. And now you might wonder, well, Moritz, you said it's a silent retreat? Yeah, it was, but for us as audience, we were supposed not to talk, but actually our host, Ajahn Brahm, was talking all the time. And when he talked, he did not just tell us anything, but he told us stories after stories after stories. And one of these stories I would like to share with you tonight. In a small session, 15 people, one of these afternoons, he were sitting there, so I won't sit now for you, but just imagine I am Ajahn Brahm, a bit fatter like that, and even calmer. And he was asking us, do you know the shortest fairy tale in the world? And we looked at each other, no, I don't know, nobody knows. And then he asked, okay, let's develop it together. How does every fairy tale begin? And I thought, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Oh no, wait, this is Star Wars, this is not a fairy tale. What is it else here? Once upon a time, there was, right? Yeah, this is how every fairy tale begins. Now, what happens in the body of every fairy tale? There are normally two characters or more. Let's say there's a boy and there's a girl, very traditional. And then some kind of surprise happens, normally in a fairy tale, right? Okay, and how does every fairy tale end? Yes, and they lived happily ever after, right? So now, again, just spoil your imagination, think about me, Ajahn Brahm, and revealing the shortest fairy tale in the world. Once upon a time, there was a boy who proposed to a girl. And she said, no! And they lived happily ever after. And eventually you might find that funny, because the most funniest part was that the next 5 minutes, Ajahn Brahm was laughing out loud all the time. He couldn't stop laughing. So it was quite hilarious to watch him enjoying his own story. Now, think about how many of these elements you can even in the shortest fairy tale of the world find. Quite a lot, right? So for me to end that little presentation here, what is my call for action? Because we will never, ever, ever leave your audience without a clear call for action. So my invitation for you is practice these 9 3x3 little ideas for your next speech project and make that difference for your audience. And until that, live life full. And see you then.